Welcome to day 6. Today we are talking about finishing, the step that protects your work and makes it last. Finishing is not always the most exciting part, but it should never be careless. A clean finish turns your project from handmade to well made. Let's go step by step.
Before applying any glue, check the loop side carefully. Control your loops. Adjust them if necessary. If any loops slipped into each other, separate them gently. Make sure the surface looks exactly how you want it to look. Then secure the back using fabric glue. Apply a thin, even layer. Do not oversaturate the fabric. Make sure the glue reaches the stitches without flooding them. Drying time depends on the glue you use. In most cases, waiting 2 to 4 hours is enough, especially if you will use hot glue during finishing. Let it dry completely before moving on. Trimming depends on the texture and structure you want. If you plan to trim or sculpt the loops, do it after the glue has completely dried. But on the back side, trim any loose yarn ends before applying glue. A clean back gives a cleaner finish and better adhesion. Trim intentionally, not automatically.
There are multiple ways to finish wall art. You can glue a felt backing for a clean and polished look. Choose slightly thicker felt. Around 2 mm works beautifully. And remember, backing doesn't have to be boring. Colored felt can elevate your design. You can attach a hanger directly onto the felt or insert a yarn hanger between the felt and the project before sealing. Another option is stretching your work in a hoop and using the hoop itself as a frame, or placing it inside a wooden frame for a more structured presentation. Different finishes create different moods. Choose the one that supports your design best. For functional pieces, fabric choice at the beginning is very important. If you punch onto sturdy fabric like canvas or another tight woven material, you already have enough structural strength. In that case, an additional backing layer is not necessary. For bags, I recommend adding a lining. It protects the punch needle work from friction, keeps the inside clean, and gives the bag more finished look. For pillow covers, interfacing is usually not necessary, but I recommend not filling the pillow directly. Instead, use a separate inner pillow cover made from thinner, stable fabric. This makes washing and changing your punch cover much easier. If your design needs sewing, always leave seam allowance. Sewing directly over loops is difficult and risky. It can break your sewing needle and quickly become frustrating. For smaller projects, edges become very important. Pins work beautifully with felt backing and attached hardware. Coasters can use felt backing or even an additional fabric layer for extra durability. Keychains and back charms can also have a second punched piece as backing for a symmetrical double-sided look. Use a thicker felt, around 2 mm is ideal. Apply a thin line of hot glue around the edges and gently press the backing into the front edge loops. You can also glue a ribbon around the edge or add a crochet chain for a decorative finish. This is where creativity has no borders. The sky is the limit. Finishing is not the most exciting step, but it should never be boring either. In this stage where your work becomes durable, usable, and professional, you've learned technique, you've learned control, now you know how to make it last. In the final video of this series, we'll talk about choosing your first project and the many things you can create with punch needle. I'll see you there.